Hi, welcome to my video. In this video I'm going to talk about PureDarwin. So PureDarwin is a project I've been following for a long time. It's been around for many years. So basically what PureDarwin is Open Darwin. If you guys remember Open Darwin back in the day, well, this is basically what it is. If you remember OpenStep in the late 90s, what PureDarwin is basically it's the Darwin system. That's basically it. It's like FreeBSD, but it's the Apple BSD system. So like when you run Mac OS, if you go in the terminal, that's Darwin. That's the Unix of Mac OS. So the PureDarwin project, which aims to make Apple open source Darwin OS more usable, is still actively maintained as of 2024. I thought it was dying, but I checked it out recently. They have a whole. This is a brand new page. It's a lot of documents, and anyways, while development has been rapidly slow, the project continues to progress through community and contribution. PureDarwin focused on creating a usable, bootable system that is independent of macOS components, relying solely on Darwin and other open source tools. The project's main focus is providing useful documentation and making it easier for developers and open source enthusiasts to engage with Darwin. So they do have a test build, but it's only for like virtual machine. So let's see the new direction. The new direction here are they're basically planning to make more of a desktop here, and this is how they want to start off, like this. They're going to be using the Mate desktop, and it's going to have like sort of a Mac OS UI to it. This is how it's going to be at first, or at least in the the first stage of it. This is light DM. Then their main focus, they want it to look like this, which I think would look really nice. Get the little Darwin beak from the mascot. Trenta icons. Plank dock, or is sublink plank, and this is how their light DMs could look like, which looks really nice. So basically, it'll look sort of like a macOS clone in a way, and the API compatibility with macOS, the core graphics, core display. Public APIs trying to cover for one. We don't have headers for, so there's some compatibility with macOS apps. Like, these goals may not be something in scope right at this time, but should be kept in mind for the distant future. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this system, because this is basically what my direction is going. I really love BSD, like a lot. Like I'm a big Linux guy, right? I am. I'm a very big Linux guy. At the moment, I'm using Windows because I'm really tired of Linux. Like this year with Linux, to me, it's been the worst year me using Linux ever. With the XZ vulnerabilities, the CUPS vulnerabilities, and many more other stuff, bugs, Wayland just never improving. It's not that I just fed up with Linux and this pissed me off. It's a collective of 25 years of using Linux, and me just being very frustrated with it, because Linux has potential, has the developers, has a big community, and the state that that it is in is really sad to see because it should be way up there. It should be really stable. It should be awesome. You know what I mean? It should have a lot of software. It just should be in a better state. Like the Linux hasn't changed much in the last 15 years. Like it's updated. The desktop kind of changed a little bit, but it's still in the same. It's like it's hard to explain. It got better. Gaming got better, but that's because of Valve. But I'm just saying, like, Linux can be better. But the thing is, I just don't really use Linux. I'm not just a fan of Linux. I like operating systems in general. I'm an operating system hobbyist, you know. I always have been. Even when I was young, back in the olden days, I used to go on this website where it had a lot of like open source operating system. It wasn't just Linux. It had BSD. It had a variety of other types of systems. Back then, I'm not sure that a lot of it's not being like I tried React OS. I tried Haiku. I tried BEOS back in the late '90s. I tried, you know, QNX. I tried, you know, the RIS OS system. I tried Amiga. I tried a lot of different types of systems, and what I'm trying to say is that I like to play around with systems, but I've been a really big fan of PureDarwin for a long time, and just like seeing like this here, their new direction, short term and long term goals. If they can really master this right here, and then get to this point here, that'd be really awesome. Like I would definitely install this system and really test it out and be a tester for PureDarwin. I'm a big fan of PureDarwin. I've been like a big fan with them for a long time. I am not part of the community, but just me as a, you know, hobbyist of operating systems, especially when it comes to BSD, especially when it comes to Mac OS systems. Yeah, I like when they had Next BSD, when they were trying to implement some of the Mac like Launch D and a bunch of other stuff like into FreeBSD system. The project didn't last too long, but when that was around, I was really interested in this, and basically, that's sort of what PureDarwin is, but it's basically the original Darwin. It's the Darwin system. It's just without, you know, the Mac desktop, the Mac OS desktop, but it's basically the base. You know what I mean? It will miss some of the components, which is proprietary, which they can't use because it's proprietary. So the code is not available. So they got basically built around it. But you know what I mean? Like it has a lot of the, you know, features that they can use for open source and just put it together. But it'd be cool, like if I could launch, like let's say Steam from Mac OS on PureDarwin, that'd be cool. Or if I could launch like Discord, and it should be easier to port Mac OS apps to this system as well. So I think this could also be a little bit ahead of FreeBSD because it's based on the Mac OS, and Mac OS has a lot of software already. So a lot of software can be ported over to PureDarwin. I really wish this project, like I wish to be an ISO. So basically that's what it is. So the PureDarwin test build 7.2, that's the old format structure. And the new format is Darwin, PureDarwin 0.3.0 Alpha, Darwin 24. So this is like the later version. So they're gonna have alpha, then beta and stable. Cool. Yeah, this is kind of old. But it seems pretty interesting, though. I really, really, really want to play around with this. Anyways, guys, that's just a little quick video. I'm really interested in PureDarwin, so I'm kind of just giving Linux a break. I need a break from Linux. That's why I'm in Windows. I don't hate Linux. When I say Linux sucks, doesn't mean that I'm being a troll and I hate it. No, I actually really like Linux a lot. I just want it to be better. But I also like systems like this. I don't talk about it much, but I am a fan of BSD systems, and I have been for many years. I used to only use BSD. I used to use FreeBSD actually as my main operating system for a few years back a while back. And it's due to frustration with Linux as well. I've been having frustration with Linux for the longest time, and it's nothing that Linux is. It's not bad. It's just, anyways, it frustrates me because it can be so much better. Anyways, guys, have a good one. Cheers.